you could not have scripted what unfolded. Heartbreak in the end for the Manly Seagulls, but despite all of that, I'm very pleased to say that their halfback, Jamal Fogarty, has joined us here in studio. Jamal, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. We know that it's tough after a loss, and it's your daughter Ruby's birthday as well, so shout out to Ruby. Before we get into the match, just what were the emotions for you, not only playing for a new club, but up against your former club as well?
Yeah, it was obviously very different. I'm sorry about the voice. I got a bit of a Hudson forearm last night, but obviously different. Obviously got a lot of close friends down there, so to be on the other side of it, pre-game I was a little bit nervous. Obviously they game plan for anyone that leaves the club, they go after you, so a little bit nervous in that part of it as well. But once I got into the game, I felt very comfortable. It was just kind of like another game, but nervous to start, that's for sure.
Now, GIO Stadium has its own personality, but Brookvale Oval is renowned for that. What was it like playing at your new home ground?
Yeah, it was awesome. Loved it. Obviously, the weather didn't scare the locals off, which was awesome. And when I went there last year as a Raider, it was very hostile. So to be on the other side of it, to get excited for those, for our supporters to get behind us was awesome experience. And like I said before, the rain didn't scare anyone off, which was nice.
Jamal, when the full-time siren went, you were down by 2 points, but the whistle blew and you had an opportunity to kick the goal. Playing against your old club, was there a little bit of heckling from the green jerseys, or how did that play out? Yeah,
there was Hudson, Tommy Starling and big Corey Horsburgh. I could hear them chirping, and even when I was down there goal kicking, they would get into me all the time. So I kind of had a little bit before, but obviously nervous with the game on the line there, but lucky enough to sneak it through there. So it was a good feeling.
How hard is it going? We spoke in the pre-game, the pre-show about the attacking style, the unpredictability of Canberra, but going from a different structure to a new club that has different philosophies. Is that tough for a halfback? Yeah, it was, mate. That pre-season, pre-Christmas, my head was all over shop. Different calls?
Just different names.
So you call them Canberra plays when you first got there?
I was at the start, and Seeves was getting into me saying, that's the wrong terminology, mate. You got to use this. So, got chipped a couple of times there, but it was very difficult. And then once I come back post-Chrissy, I felt very comfortable in the style that we're trying to play. But then just the relationships that you build with players, you know what they're going to do and what they can do for you and where I need to be. So,
helps with Turbo there.
Oh, mate, he's like a...
What's he like to play with?
Yeah, he's unbelievable, mate. Even... I was telling the family last night, if it's last tackle, he'll sit behind me and be like, mate, kick it to the left pocket, there's no one there. So then I'll try and kick it there, and he's my eyes. And then even have Jake in the middle, he's like a halfback in a big body too. So their football IQ's it's unbelievable, mate, and it's good that I'm on their side.
Understanding your player's strength is really important. A guy on the left-hand side, Tolutau Koula, he looks like he's had an incredible off-season, and he looked the most dangerous player on the field at times.
Yeah, Tol's is a special talent, mate, and we kind of spoke about if we can try and lock down that middle third and preserve the space on the edges, give him a little bit of time and space, and he can do absolutely anything. And last night he was our shining light, got us back in the game there with a nice break and a try for himself, and he's just got that raw ability and speed that you just can't coach. He's just got good genetics.
Now, you didn't get the fairy tale, but your halfback you would have spent a lot of time with, Ethan Sanders. It was his fairy tale. Can you tell us about him? I reckon you would have spent a fair bit of time with him over the years.
Yeah, I think one thing about Sanders, he's very calm and composed, and obviously showed last night. But for a young guy when I was there at Canberra, he was always chilled, very calm, which I probably thought he might have learned a lot from Mitch Moses, obviously being at Parramatta. And
Mitch Moses calm.
just his experience to rub off on him. And then obviously for him to get his opportunity last night and to ice it, obviously disappointing for us, but happy for Sanders to get that moment because it is a big moment.
Well, another halfback, a young halfback, is Joey Walsh. How far do you think he's off regular first grade?
Yeah, I think he's probably ready now, to be honest. He's got rugby union background, so his craft and ball skills and deceptions, very, very high level. So I think, obviously, with Brooksy there, he's someone that's played over 250 games, and I thought he did a great job for us last night. And Joey's probably going to be in that spot where he's going to always be on the bench. If myself or Brooksy go down, he can come on, or if we need a bit of momentum change, they can put him on. So I think he's definitely ready. It's just how do we find that balance of himself and Brooksy.
Now we know how tough it was for you to leave Canberra and come to the Northern Beaches and your relationship with Ricky Stewart. He was asked about your performance after the match.
And it was also like I had a good chat to Jamal after the game. I thought Jamal played very well too. There's a lot of pressure on Jamal tonight as well. Taking over from a very high-profile footballer here at Manly. I thought Jamal was under a lot of pressure too, and I thought he aimed up tonight and played a really good game of football too.
Every time Ricky talks about you, we can see what you meant to him and what you meant to the club. How was it going to see Stick after the match?
Yeah, well, he only come and spoke to me because they won. If they lost, he wouldn't have come out of the sheds. But obviously, got to thank Stick and the Raiders for obviously what they've done for my career, and obviously played good footy down there to get a gig here at Manly. So there's a lot to thank them for. But I think our relationship's obviously a lot more away from football, where we get along really well. And get into him when he's happy, and then when he's not so happy, I still get into him. And I think he appreciates it because it kind of sees the lighter side of life. It's not he's obviously very footy mad, but I just try and distract him a little bit. And obviously our relationship's still good. And yeah, like I said before, I've got to be pretty grateful for our relationship and what he's been able to do for my career.
Him being one of the legendary halfbacks of the game, what's he like as a coach? I look at the two Ethans, Ethan Sanders and Ethan Strange last night, and they played like a traditional halfback pairing. They didn't play either side of the field. They went first receiver, second receiver, and they were all over the field. What's he like as a halfback to be coached by him?
Yeah, I found it really good. There'll be a couple of times at training, he'll be in your pocket yelling at you, which I didn't really like. Yeah. But obviously the relationship, we could have conversations about, hey, I think this is going to work. We'll agree or we'll disagree, but let's scrap that. So he is easy to work with. And then obviously he was a genuine seven with Loz in his side. So obviously Sanders is
I was talking about it before. That's how they're playing.
Yeah, so
like him and Loz.
Yeah, with Sanders, he's very controlling, great kicking game, and obviously when you've got that stranger, you can be free on the edge, and with Kaya Weeks on the other side. So I thought for a couple of young kids that they had that balance pretty well last night.
What's it like living on the northern beaches?
Yeah, it's beautiful, mate. Even just little things.
Week?
Yeah. Is that your place?
I'm often there.
Bit of donations. Just little things, right? Being able to drop the girls off to school and grab a coffee and sit down the beach. Just mentally refreshing. It's a nice place to live. We're really enjoying it at the moment.
Are you close?
Not far. Not far.
From Fish Week.
No.
Joey's never far.
Ethan Strange, ready for Origin?
Yeah, well, I did say to him last night, I said, I hope you have a good season, and I reckon he can put on that number 6 for the Blues. I'm a proud Queenslander, and for us, I probably don't want to see him play against us, but I think, he's ready.
Is he talking about it?
No.
Okay.
So I just wanted him to know that, that's where he should be aiming for. I've obviously gone away with the Australian squad last year and would have been a good confidence boost for him. He's a wonderful player, right? So I think, the sky's the limit for Strangey.
And what about Jake Trbojevic, one of, perhaps the most inspirational and one of the nicest blokes in rugby league? What's it like playing with him? And the headgear as well, because it's
hard.
different.
Look at it.
But I imagine it would have... Did he say much about if it was tough to get used to, or...?
Well, I asked him when he first put it on, I said, mate, that's not really going to stop concussions, is it? And he goes, I'm just going to be all in. So even with our captain's run the other day, he had it on with the mouth guard in. And I was like, wait, it's captain's run, you know what I mean? But that's just Jake, he's all in. So he'll do anything for the club and team. And if he has to wear a terrible headgear like that, he's obviously going to do it. But he's an inspirational player to our team. He's one of the leaders, and he's been doing that for so long. So we very respect him highly.
The great Steve Menzies, we obviously saw wear it, and he is our special guest on 100% Footy as well tomorrow night. So, Jamal, we really, really appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you saying yes. You're always so giving with your time. So thanks so much.
No worries, thank you.